done and dusted in terms of preparation, but 4 goals and 4 points so far this week. It's been quite decent for you.
Yeah, really pleasing week. Like I said, we're working a week of a Saturday to a Saturday. Obviously, we would have liked a couple of more points from the game at Crawley, but scoring 2 goals in each of the game is a real plus for us, because obviously that's been a stumbling block. But no, all in all, really pleasing, really pleased for the players, and we've got to continue that now.
You've been a footballer, you've played a lot of games, you're now managing footballers. Does moods change when you get a positive result from when you've probably not got that result that you thought you should have done the previous game?
From the staff point of view, we've got to quickly move on. Yes, you do enjoy the win. You know, Nigel Clough said to me, you have to enjoy winning, regardless of what's going on. You have to enjoy that moment, which we do. But you've got to quickly move on. For the players, it can be a big help, can't it? Boosting the confidence. I think the players have been really good in terms of where they're at mentally as a group with what's been going on and the results not going for us, and some poor performances in the mix as well. But it can only breed more confidence, can't it? What's happened in the last 2 games in terms of scoring, extra people getting on the score sheet. So it does breed confidence, but I've said it time and time again that that's what we want at the football club.
I know we don't go on about the pitch, but it is playing a big part, and people are trying to get it right. But you are going away from home come Saturday afternoon. Can that help you?
I personally prefer to play at home all the time in front of your own fans. That's me. I think the fans have been really good since I've taken over as manager. So it's always at home for me. Going away comes up with its own challenges, the travelling, etc. But for me, I want to play at home. But we are away, and we have to keep on hitting a consistent level.
One issue that has cropped up, you've just mentioned it briefly earlier on about goal scorers coming your way. There was 2 different goal scorers in midweek. You know, that's the bonus. That's what you want. Yeah,
really pleasing for Callum to get his goal. It's been a couple of years. There's been a while, hasn't it, since he scored. So really pleased for him. But that's what we're trying to do within the formation, is get him closer to the goal, to come up with them types of goals from within the box. I thought Dan was excellent to get the ball across after initially being on the floor. And then Ryan, again, midfield players arriving in them areas to keep the moves alive. Took his goal really well. Like I said, I thought technically he was excellent all night.
That's one good thing as well for you, is, you know, you brought that player in. I know he's all a part of a team, but he's settled in really well. And for him to come to Crewe and get his first ever senior goal, that's a great memory for him as well, and for your football club.
Yeah, you know, when players come in, we want them to have an impact, and he certainly had that. Obviously, we had to just nurse him in as best we could, for reasons I've mentioned in the past. But no, he's having a real impact on the team. He's a lad who wants to succeed. He knows where he wants his career to go, and he applies himself every day in training, in the games, and I think he'll get there pretty quickly to where he's aiming to go.
It was a long time ago, it seems, when I think it was the first game at home against Harrogate this season, back in August. A lot of things have happened, but you had a positive result that day. You're on a couple of good results going into the game. Do you see it as a game that you can build momentum from? I'm
going to be really boring and say that game doesn't matter for anything. Certainly going away from home, teams are in slightly different places, where they were at the start of the season to where we are now. What we need to do, and I've mentioned, we've got to become more consistent, much more consistent, and not fall off cliffs. I keep mentioning it to the players, do not fall off a big cliff. We've got to become more consistent and pick up, definitely away from home. We've got to pick up more points away from home. We have to, because I think our own form will come good in the end. So we've got to pick up more points away from home. What's gone on early on in the season will have no bearing on what the game looks like tomorrow.
Just looking back from the other night, 5 academy players started, 1 or 2 on the bench as well. But in my own view of it all, I thought all 5 contributed as well to the game. How pleasing is that? And are you seeing, I know he's 25, but he's still part of that group of academy players. Are you seeing those improvements in all those players playing at first team level?
I think so, particularly with, you know, the younger ones. Callum's in a slightly different bracket, isn't he? He's churned out a lot of games. Been really good to the football club in that manner. Yeah, and listen, when they get in the team, they have to we want them to contribute. They have to perform. That's what we want. Yes, we've got to nurse them in. Yes, we've got to get them some experiences, but we also want them to contribute. And I thought they were really good Tuesday night. You know, Conor Reid and sound. Joel Taberner was a real threat all night. So that's what we've got to get these players to do. We've got to get them to contribute. We don't want them just coming in the team and then coming away. We've explained that to them. When they get in the team, contribute to the team, enjoy what's being asked of you.
Well, we spoke about how Sean Robertson took that sending off, you know, and how he's spoken to you after the game at Crawley. But he's back now. He's trained a few days as well. It's your headache now. You've got him there in the squad to up for selection.
Yeah, it's great to have him back for selection. Like I say, I think he's been a real breath of fresh air to the football club. Just his enthusiasm and his brightness with his training, etc. Yeah, we've got a tough decision to make for what we're going to go with tomorrow. Again, we've got a couple of people who we're going to have to assess before the game. So it might look slightly different tomorrow.
I think you're heading towards 20 games in charge as a manager. Your counterpart, come Saturday afternoon, has got about 660 games as a manager. But full credit to Simon Weaver. You know, I know his father owns the club and runs the club with the committees type of thing. But you know, that's a great little achievement for him.
Yeah, that's unbelievable numbers, isn't it? And they've built that club up, and they're looking to progress it all the time and getting established in the Football League. Yeah, but a real credit to him to churn out that many games, because I can bet there's been some tough bangs on the way for him. No, but I congratulate him on that. You know, and they're being really successful in trying to move the club forward.
What are you expecting though? You know, this is the first visit for Crewe to Harrogate. What are you thinking? Where their form and how they play type of thing?
The boys need to get ready for an high energy game. They've got pace and power up the top. They won't hesitate to look to get the ball in behind you. So they've got to be ready for that. They'll have a decent crowd backing them. It'll be a game that they'll want to win because of where we are positions in the league. So the boys need to be ready for it. And we've addressed the players on that matter. Again, no complacency, becoming more consistent. Don't be too high. Got to be on that even keel, because it'll be a real tough game, full of energy. Some good players. The left winger's a good lad. They've got him from Southampton, a good player. So they need to be ready for it and treat this as much as any game they've done in the recent past.
Just finally, hopefully, come 5 o'clock Saturday tea time, it's the end of a real good 7 days for you, because, as you mentioned, where you are in the league, you've already just played 2 teams around you in the league. You know, you could be drawing closer and closer towards that mid-table spot.
Yeah, and it's up to us to make these things happen. There's only us and the staff that can make this happen. So again, the message that's delivered to the players, it's only us that will make it happen. Don't ask for handouts from anybody else. No excuses about travelling. None of that. There'll only be us who can make the outcomes positive ones or negative ones. And you know, we want a lot more positive than negative.